This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK.
This week on the podcast, Spark and Fire, the songwriting duo behind Frozen, Kristen Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez.
We would get in fights.
We got in lots of fights.
Through trial and error, they learn how to collaborate.
You really need to find someone who can have the hard talks and not walk out of the room.
On Spark and Fire, creators share their stories to fuel your creativity. Spark and Fire is a Wait What original in partnership with the BBC. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a download from the BBC. I'm Michelle McManus, and this is my highlight from today's show. Now, my first guest today is a multi-platinum winning Grammy-nominated artist who in her time as a member of one of the most successful girl groups of all time, the Pussycat Dolls, has notched up over 70 million album sales. She reached the final 5 in ITV's Dancing on Ice and most recently won The Masked Singer in Australia. And by the way, that's not the end of her talents. She received rave reviews for her performance as one of the leads in the smash hit stage musical The Bodyguard, which features the songs of Whitney Houston. Now, based on Lawrence Kasdan's 1992 Oscar-nominated movie, which starred Houston alongside Kevin Costner and directed by the acclaimed theatre director Thea Sharrock, the music has been enjoyed by millions of people around the world, and I am very excited to say it is coming to Scotland soon. Melody joins us live now. Hello, Melody, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm so good. Listen, thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us. I have to say, Melody, there is probably less than 1% of the world's population that can sing Whitney Houston songs, and my goodness, you can do it and then some. You're sounding fantastic. This must be a dream role, right?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for saying that. And then, yes, this is a dream. I absolutely adore and love Whitney Houston. I always have since I was a kid, and so yeah, this is an awesome opportunity for me.
Yeah, but I mean, vocally, it's just, I mean, that's, and honestly, I'm not just saying that. I mean, I have attempted to sing Whitney Houston and failed spectacularly. It's just the sheer. It's the vocal range and it's the vocal acrobatics that are involved because the songs are so familiar, and I know that it's not a case of that they're your interpretation. You're not wanting to do a kind of copycat version, but you still need serious power in those lungs and to hit those notes. And it just, if it's not right, you know, people are so used to these songs. So yeah. It's huge. And it must be a big responsibility for you, I think, as well.
Oh, yeah. I try not to think about that.
Sorry, I've just went right in with that 2 feet.
No, that's okay. You're correct, though. That's true. I think that... Yes, listen, I think these songs were done so well to begin with that if you're going to do it, it's like when I was younger and someone would cover a song and I'd be like, why do it? Yeah. You know, like, why? Like, if you're not going to do it, why do it? And so, but actually, it's such a blessing that, I mean, it was done by such a master so that the guide it's there, right? Yeah. Your job as a singer is to do it your way and to do it justice your way. So, yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. I'm really grateful that you like those recordings because, yes, hopefully people aren't coming to the theater to go, let's see. Let's see. No, they're not. Listen, I didn't. No, that's not. I'm going to get away from that, right? I just needed to tell you that if you're going to go and see The Bodyguard, thank goodness we're going to see it with you in it because it sounds amazing. So for those, I mean, everyone, I remember that movie. I remember the shockwaves. I remember how just what a massive hit it was at the time. But for those that haven't seen The Bodyguard for whatever reason, tell us a little bit about the story and about your character Rachel. Who is she? What kind of woman is she? Right. So The Bodyguard is a suspense thriller. But it's also a romance. So Rachel Marin is a singer-songwriter, but she's like a mega star. She's a singer-songwriter, actress. She's also a mother, and that's her priority. She's very, very high-functioning and a workaholic. So she has no idea that there's someone out there who has this obsession with her. Her team is hiding everything from her. She seems very oblivious, and this guy comes in. He's the new bodyguard, and she's going, why do we need a new bodyguard? Like, who cares? We're doing what we're doing, and we're doing fine with the guy we have. And he learns to really admire her and her work ethic, and she comes to really admire him as well. This is how they fall in love with each other, really. I don't want to give too much away.
No, don't.
But she's such an alpha, kind of diva female, and he's protecting her when she comes to learn what's actually going on. And when the audience comes to find how this obsession came about as well, it's shocking. So yeah, you have to come and see it. You'll have to come and see it to know. It starts with a bang and it kind of ends with a bang. And there are all kinds of bangs in between, meaning the Whitney songs.
High octane show. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's such a treat as well, right? Because, you'll remember where you were when you saw the movie and when it came out. But to actually have this live experience, to be in the audience, and even though you might know the story, you might be familiar, but to be taken on this, this kind of fresh journey with this story, have you been kind of really blown away by the audience reaction? Because, it's been such a huge hit.
Yeah. Do you mean the film or you're talking about the musical?
Yeah, no, in terms
when I did it in China?
Yeah, when you did it in China, so when you were on tour there.
Yeah, so what I'm looking forward to actually is there were subtitles when I was in China, and I was always waiting for like a pause, like a delayed response, and it wasn't. It was everyone was kind of like reading the teleprompter, but also watching us live, and it was spot on.
And that must have been pretty grueling for you, because that was like 6 months in China, wasn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It was. Yes, it was. I think I was 5 months. I think I was there 5 months. And you want to always just know that when you're on stage, you're giving it everything that you have and that it's resonating. And when you don't have that, or you don't know for sure, then you're kind of pulling more. So I look forward to kind of feeding off of the UK audience and seeing, how they're responding in real time.
And it's a double thing, because obviously, you're doing this show which is so well loved, but you yourself as an artist are so well known. Even when I was kind of just reading the intro, Melody, the fact that you were part of one of the most successful girl groups of all time. We all know the Pussycat Dolls. You girls could seriously sing, but the fact that you notched up over 70 million album sales.
Yeah.
There's not many people I'll speak to that have sold, a tenth of that, never mind. That in itself, to have had that career and to be now involved in something so huge. Do you kind of look back at your career and think, was that me? Did I has that happened? Or is it all very real for you? You remember every bit of it?
What's interesting is I do purposely separate myself from, because I consider myself a student, right? And that's what keeps it. If you start getting like, me, and, like, you won't, what's the point then, I appreciate learning from every single person that I work with moving forward. So it's funny, I'll post, if I ever post about, anything Pussycat Dolls, I'll always name Baby Doll, it wasn't me.
I love that's your kind of alter ego or your persona within the band. That you can, that's actually quite nice that you can separate that then. Because that must have been a really intense time, because when you guys hit, it just went boom, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was so huge.
It was big. And also it was overwhelming. What I don't want to carry forward in my career is the way that I felt as a kid learning in real time. That was a tough time. So I always give her flowers, and I'm like, you did it, girlfriend. Good for you, Baby Doll. And I just take what I learned and keep moving. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about right now. I know that you've been in dancing. You did so well in Dancing on Ice, and you recently won the Masked Singer in Australia. Was that a great experience?
It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. I'm not supposed to say it, but I dodged COVID for years, and then I got COVID.
Oh no!
I was there right before I started. So actually the first two numbers, I was like trying to get my lungs back. But
oh my goodness, were you bad with it? Did it really kind of knock you for six?
It wasn't super bad. It wasn't super bad, but I felt the difference because I had been, kind of prepping and going like, cool, it's good that I don't have to wear makeup. I'm just going to slap this mask on. And I can just worry about sounding good every single day. But then, that happened, and I had to recover quickly. But it still worked out. I'm so grateful to everyone who voted. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but you went on and won it. I mean, my goodness, even COVID didn't keep you down, which I love. You're like, just dealt with that in the beginning and just went on and won it, you know?
Oh, it was so lucky. I'm so grateful, yes.
So we are really excited because, this tour is going to be next year. You're coming to Scotland in the new year. You're going to be in Glasgow. Have you spent much time in Scotland?
Okay, yes, but I never got a chance to really look around, and I've been told I'm supposed to get a chippy, right?
Oh yeah, get a chippy. You'll love that. You'll love that.
And then, oh man, there was a couple other things.
Listen, the world's your oyster when you come here. All I will say is wrap up warm. The weather's...
Really?
We usually get 3 to 4 days of summer the whole year. So they're well gone. And you'll be here kind of January, February time. It'll be chilly. It'll be cold. Yeah. Wrap up. Definitely get a chippy.
Okay.
But depending where you are in Glasgow or Edinburgh, chippies are very different. But don't worry, you'll learn all about that. I won't bore you about that just now. But experience chippies in both cities.
Okay.
You'll love them. You'll become addicted.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it. You'll love it. The architecture's great. The people are great. And we are so excited that you're bringing this tour to Scotland. Yeah. We can't wait to see it.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you guys as well. It's going to be the 28th of January, right, in Glasgow.
20th of January to the 4th of February at King's, and then Edinburgh Playhouse, and you're up in Aberdeen as well. But we're going to have all that information on the afternoon show webpage as well, so don't worry, we'll direct all our listeners onto our website and they can get just one click and they'll be straight through.
Nice, very good. Yay. I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah.
Really, really, I can't.
Well, listen, we know how busy you are. We know that you're speaking to lots of other people today, so I don't want to keep you, but have a Merry Christmas when it comes. And as I said, all the best for the tour. You are sounding fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your time, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, my dear. Okay, you take care. That was Melody Thornton there joining me. And as I said, just to give you that information again, Melody stars in the smash hit stage production of The Bodyguard, which I said is coming to Scotland in the new year, starting at the King's Theatre in Glasgow from the 20th of January to the 4th of February, with dates at the Edinburgh Playhouse and His Majesty's Theatre in Aberdeen following on from that. And as I said, more information will be on the afternoon show's web page. Now, there's also a Whitney Houston biopic out in cinemas on Boxing Day. That's called I Want to Dance with Somebody. So a treat for you all Whitney Houston fans before the tour of The Bodyguard arrives next year. That was my highlight from today's show. I'm Michelle McManus. Thanks for listening.
This week on the podcast, Spark and Fire, the songwriting duo behind Frozen, Kristen Anderson-Lopez and Robert Lopez.
We would get in fights.
We got in lots of fights.
Through trial and error, they learn how to collaborate.
You really need to find someone who can have the hard talks and not walk out of the room.
On Spark and Fire, creators share their stories to fuel your creativity. Spark and Fire is a Wait What original in partnership with the BBC. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts.